Ritual Crown of Horns enters the top-down shooting genre along the likes of notable hits like Crimson Land and the Rip series. And while it may try to do something interesting with the story and persistence, like our main character here, it seems to be stuck between purgatory or alive and dead. But what you're seeing right now is of early access footage, so it may not represent the current version of the game, and this is being played with a press key. The story is, we play a cowboy in the Old West who, after taking on a job for the government, is left for dead after being torn apart by demons. He teams up with a witch and other supernatural helpers to try and figure out what is going on. Basically, one hold the point map at a time. The gameplay works like this. Each map has you defending the witch, who you can see in there in the upper left or on the left side of the screen there, from a unending wave of various demons. Most of the demons are going to be going specifically for her, while a few will attack you directly. If the witch's health hits 0, you lose the map. And I'm sure the same can go for if you run out of health as well. To aid you, you can dash, and you can bring up to 3 weapons and 3 spells into each map. Now, what you're seeing in terms of the shooting, every time you go to aim at an enemy, the kind of like a little reticle will appear for most precision-based weapons, and it's represented by a red skull. When the red skull is there, you'll do maximum damage with that gun. Now, with the enemies being unending, the maps themselves are static. When you spawn into a map where it starts, there may be a few defenses, wooden doors, things like that, but things will, as you can probably guess, break down very quickly as the waves continue. Now, on the maps themselves, you can sometimes pick up bonus items or bonuses such as increased health or faster reload time, multiplier speed, things like that. And this all works. One thing that I do really like about Ritual is the greater sense of persistence the game has along with the story. After each mission, you are taken to the hub where you're free to spend the resources that you earn for completing a map to unlock new weapons, spells, and you can also unlock clothing, which acts as a side grade. So you'll enhance one aspect of your character, in turn losing something else, such as increased movement speed, but you'll take more damage. And I always like side grade systems like that. And like I said, the story does keep you interested. It is a little bit more, I guess, higher quality compared to a lot of the top-down shooters, where it's basically, here's a never-ending wave of enemies, survive. But while it has those elements down pat, Ritual's core gameplay loop has some very questionable decisions to them that I'm really curious to see what people will say as they play through early access, and if this changes after, during its period. But before we talk about that, as always, a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters and backers. And now for a quick thank you to our Patreon supporters and current Game Wisdom sponsors. If you would like to continue this discussion on game design, be sure to check out our Discord channel, linked down below. Ritual Crown of Horns' biggest problem sadly involves its core gameplay loop. And it's very hard for you to see why that is from the footage that we've shown so far, but the game itself seems to be stuck between two masters. And despite being on the PC and obviously on Steam Early Access, it has a lot of console and gamepad conventions kind of locked into the design. Most notably is that there is no free aiming in this game. What you've seen so far is that every time I press right mouse button, or whatever the gamepad equivalent is, the game will auto-target the nearest enemy. And while this may sound like a way of streamlining the game, it also comes at the cost of rendering a lot of advanced play impossible to do. Several of the more challenging guns to use, the shotgun, rifles, etc., are designed around being able to aim in a specific direction to capitalize on their attack. The shotgun has the cone, the rifle has kind of like a penetrating shot. The problem is that if you're not able to aim, you have no real control over your firing angle. And while you could argue that this is a way of making things a little bit more challenging for the player, because they have to set up where the character is as well as the enemy, this is kind of like trying to fix something that wasn't broken. And it ends up making the game not only a lot harder than it should be, but a lot more cumbersome to play as well. I found just using the regular pistol or weapon that had penetration was better than trying to do anything complicated, because you just don't have the time. The maps themselves are very big, and it's very easy to lose track of where enemies are. Sometimes the game will pop up a UI indicator to let you know that they're attacking the witch. Other times it doesn't. And I don't know if that's a conditional thing or just a bug about the game being being in early access right now. But the game itself just doesn't seem to really engage with its core gameplay loop. And like I said in the last part, I like the persistent elements of Ritual. But if this gameplay just isn't exciting me or doing anything all that interesting, then that's all for naught. And the maps that I played while we were doing this on a stream, they all follow the same convention. It is just defend one point or a specific area from the enemies. You can't affect the map, you can't rebuild doors, and it just started to get very repetitive. What you won't see in this video is that there are several maps later on that involve 5 minutes and probably even more time that you have to hold out from. And I just didn't feel like doing that, because you could be winning 4 minutes in and then lose, and then you gotta repeat the last 4 minutes again and repeat it as so on and many times you need. And it's a shame because, like I said, the story kind of works, helps to elevate things. But I think this game is going to need some very big quality of life and possibly gameplay system changing additions if it wants to hook fans of Crimson Land and those other titles. But there's still plenty of time. The game is, like I said, is in early access, so we'll see how things develop. But I'd like to thank developers for giving me a press key to check this one out. It is, or it should be, available by the time you're watching this on stream. But come back for daily discussions on game design here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games. Once again, this has been Ritual Crown of Horns, and I will see you all next time. If you're looking for a book on design, my first title, 20 Essential Games to Study, is out now. It is available where most books are sold, and it comes in paper, hardcover, or digital copies. This is the perfect book for anyone interested in learning about game design, whether you are a student, enthusiast, or just a fan. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel linked down below, where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.